talk a little bit about your physical health and pain.
Yeah, so since I was little, I've had a lot of stomach issues, a lot of allergies, and just stomach aches and issues. And it seems to have gotten worse as I've gotten older. And eventually now, I don't know, I've had surgery. I've been to like 20 different doctors. Nobody really knows what's going on. But I wake up with a stomach ache every morning, sharp pain. I can't eat a lot of things. Some days, some weeks, I can't eat anything at all. I'm in so much pain that I just physically can't eat. And yeah, it's hard.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, it's not. That's what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
I love you. I love you.
It's true. And so it seems to have just gotten worse as I've gotten older, and I've been hospitalized a bunch of times, and nobody seems to be able to figure out what's going on. And it's
And
always
you're a
just been an
very healthy
underlying thing.
person.
I mean, yeah, I eat vegetables and sleep and drink water and like, like all the things that they tell you to do. So
When you were very little, you probably don't even remember, you were really little, you're like, Daddy, can I have a treat? Mm-hmm. And I
Yeah.
said, yeah. And you went to the fridge and you opened it up and you got out raw broccoli.
I loved broccoli.
And she
Yeah.
said, treat. My sons never did that. If I said you could
Yeah.
have a treat, it was a bucket of ice cream.
Yeah.
So you've always eaten very healthy. No
Yeah.
drugs, no alcohol.
No drugs.
No, you're,
Wouldn't know where to get them.
yeah. Yeah. You eat vegetables, drink water, and read the Bible.
Pretty much.
And have constant chronic physical pain.
Yep.
How many countries have you been in the hospital in?
I think just 2 or 3, but yeah, probably should have gone a couple of other times, but it's pretty sketchy when you're in South America. So the one time I was in Ecuador, it was just kind of blood all over the walls and iguanas and this lady getting surgery right next to me. And I was like, yeah, it's like not my best life experience, trying to explain to them in Spanish what's wrong with me. Yeah, I'm alone. So that was not great, but I made it. We're here, so.
So in that, you helped run the prayer tent at Arizona State University. Maybe tell them a little bit about that ministry.
Yeah, so through college, while I was going through all that and helping you with your ministry, translating stuff into Spanish, I was also the student leader of a ministry at ASU, Arizona State, where we prayed 24/7. We had a tent in the middle of campus, and 24/7 we would have people there praying, worshiping, singing, praying for people that came by, evangelizing from all different churches. It was really, really cool. And just a really unified front of believers that covered different time slots throughout the day and made sure that there was always someone there praying. And it's been going on for over probably 15 years now. Sometimes we take a break in the summer if it's like 120 degrees so people don't die, but generally it's there all the time.
Did you or the team pray for people and see them healed?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of times. There were lots of times that people would come in with various ailments or injuries or different things, and I would pray for them, and other people would pray for them, and I watched a couple people get healed miraculously. That even a lot of them were very skeptical of whether that was possible or not, and God used that moment to heal them. One kid had a broken arm and felt fine after getting prayed for, took his cast off, and was like, oh, my arm's fine. So really, really cool stuff, and just lots of miracles, and really good times there, yeah.
But you never got healed.
Nope. Still have a stomach ache every day.
Do you still pray for healing?
Yeah.
What are some of the least helpful things that people said?
Yeah, there's a list of those. Yeah, so one night I just went to sleep, normal night, and I woke up in the middle of the night and I had such a bad stomach ache that I was about to throw up, so I go to the bathroom, and in the process I fainted because I was in so much pain, and I fell and I hit my head, and I was passed out. I was alone. I didn't know how long. I still don't know how long. Could have been a couple minutes. I have no idea. But I got up and I called Landon and I called my mom, and they prayed for me, and I was reading my Bible and I was praying and just hoping that it would go away. And it did, and I went back to sleep, and I was okay, but that's happened a few times. I don't know why. And then I was telling some of my friends about it. Oh, friends, I use that term loosely. You'll see why in a second. I was telling them about that, and they were like, well, it's a good thing that God woke you up. He must have had something important to say to you about your sin and how you were being punished for something you did wrong. And I was like,
I'd like
I don't
to know where
think
they
so.
live. I'd like to.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been dealt with. Don't worry.
Okay.
No, so
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I didn't kill anybody. But
No, sometimes people make,
Yeah.
house visits for ministry. So,
oh my gosh, yeah,
know.
no.
the Jehovah's
So-
Witnesses do it. I mean, like, hey,
They do.
I'd like to
It's true,
talk
they
to you
do.
about.
Yeah. So I had a lot of people tell me that I had secret sin, or I'd done something wrong and God was trying to punish me or wake me up to show me my sin, or stuff like that. That I was like, I woke up and like tried to read my Bible because I didn't know what else to do. Like, I feel like if God was a good father and I was doing something that he needed to discipline me for, I'm pretty sure he would tell me what that was. I don't think he would just punish me for no reason and hope that I figured it out. That's not good parenting. You don't just punish your kid and then hope that they understand why. You explain to them and guide them and show them. And so I never really believed those people, but there were hard times where I had to explain that to people and like help them understand that it's not my fault. And it's weird to defend yourself in that way and say, I guess in this analogy, I'm Jesus and you're wrong, but no, not really.
But even the Apostle Paul says, he said, I had a thorn in my flesh,
Yeah.
meaning I had a physical injury that caused pain. And he says, repeatedly, I asked the Lord to take it. And he said, my grace is sufficient for you.
Yeah.
My power is made perfect in
in
weakness. And so the guy who lays hands on people and they're healed, he
Yeah.
lays hands on himself and he's not healed.
Yeah. Same thing with Jesus. A lot of his ministry is healing people and helping people out of difficulties and raising people from the dead. And he died and God raised him. But that was a process for him. It was hard. I mean, this whole prayer is really raw and real, and it wasn't easy. It's hard to trust in the middle of it.
What about for those that are hearing this and they think, if I just had more faith, God would heal me, and it's a failure in my faith?
Yeah, I think I've heard that a lot. People have told me that a lot, that if I just had more faith, I would get healed, but that puts all of the pressure on us. It makes us the ones that can make ourselves be healed. It takes the power away from Jesus choosing and supporting us and loving us. It just makes it so that it's our fault, which is just not true all the time. I mean, we live in a fallen world that things are going to happen, and it's not always a direct result of our sin or our lack of faith or something that we're doing wrong. Sometimes we're just victims of a fallen world, and sometimes it's something that God uses to grow our faith. And I mean, I'm not thankful that I'm in pain, but I've learned a lot through it, and I can trust that God is sovereign around it and through it and over it and everything, and that somehow it's part of his plan. And it's not always easy to understand why, but just giving a pat answer or a verse that just kind of makes it all feel better, it doesn't take the pain away.
And there are people that Jesus heals that they have no demonstration of any kind of faith.
Right, absolutely. I mean, dead people literally have no faith because they're dead, but he raises them anyways. So it doesn't depend on, that's the best example you can use when you're arguing with someone about this. Just a little pro tip there, I've done this a couple times.
You're my daughter.
Yeah.
It has been so hard for Mommy and I to see you suffer.
Yeah.
I mean, Mommy's done so much research.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She's read everything about everything, and I just keep giving money to doctors.
Yeah.
So what would you
Yeah.
say to those that should they pursue medical and prayer?
Absolutely. Yeah, I still pray for healing, but I also go to the doctor. Luke was a doctor, and he's writing about this, and he believes in both, that God heals the body and the soul, but God also gives us giftings and words to both minister to people in their pain and also physically actually support them and help them in their pain. We're physical and spiritual, and we have to take care of both. Absolutely.
There are so many younger believers that if they had pain or suffering, they would use that as an excuse to rebel against God. That has not been the case with you. You love the Lord. You're a godly young woman. Mommy and I are so proud of you. What kept you from using the suffering as an excuse for rebelling?
Yeah, I mean, I always just look at it like what is on the other side if I were to make that decision of like just forgetting about God and, wanting to rebel and things like that. And I still wouldn't be healed. Like it wouldn't have actually fixed anything. And I'd be miserable because I'd have no hope. Like at least now I have hope to hold on to in the middle of it. But if you have no hope and no solution and no God to call out to, I mean, that sounds worse than just having a stomach ache. Like, at least it's just that. I mean, it just sounds terrible to be separate from God. So it just doesn't seem like a better option to me. I don't know. That's like a very logical way that I think, but it just doesn't seem like a better option. So,
Do you still believe that God is a loving and good Father, even though you have chronic pain and suffering?
yeah, absolutely. If Jesus had to go to the cross, that's his son. I mean, that's crazy that he could allow that to happen, but that was, if Jesus wouldn't have done that, we wouldn't be here. We couldn't be saved. So that was his ultimate will, that Jesus die. And of course, we are all going to suffer. We're not even perfect, and we're going to suffer. So if Jesus did, then we will too.
So last one, Sweetie Pie. How does pain and suffering actually allow us to have deep, meaningful ministry to others?
Yeah, I've noticed this since getting married because Landon also has chronic pain and just got a hip replacement last year. So we're like, 1 year of marriage going on 65. But we're both like really physically old. So I think that if I had not been through all that I've been through, it'd be really hard for me to empathize with him and to be there for him. And like having been through surgery, having been to so many doctor's appointments and all the frustrations, all the testing, if I wasn't able to be there for him when he was recovering and really be emotionally present for him, that would have been really hard for our marriage. If I just expected him to move on and keep leading the family and charge forward, like that's not realistic. But I'm very hard on myself and I'm very hard on other people, so I probably would. I know I'm crying. Yeah, everybody gets to see me cry now. It's great. But yeah, it's helped me like love Landon on a deeper level. So no, you're crying. We're all crying. Everybody's crying.
Won't you pray?
Okay. Dear Lord, thank you that you empathize with us in our weakness and in our pain, that you are a great high priest that feels what we feel. And I thank you that you give us your son to model this, and I thank you that you give us people around us that help just point us towards you when we're in suffering. I pray that no matter what we're going through and what people around us are going through, Lord, that we would look to you as the example of how to respond and how to live in a world that is hard and full of sin. And I pray that you would you just help us to see that you're good in the midst of it, that you would reveal yourselves to all of us. Amen.
Amen. Love you.